Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, my name is Sarah Landress. I'm the chair of the board for Hope on Haven Hill. So welcome to our Zoom event. Just a couple of housekeeping items to go over. Because this is Zoom, it's not a webinar. So we would ask that everyone please make sure that you're muted and remain muted. If you have any questions or comments as we go through this, please feel free to use the chat function, and there will be someone monitoring the chat so we can answer any questions as they come up. We are recording this, so we would love it if people would be able to keep their videos on. We understand, not everyone's going to be able to do that, but if you are, that would be appreciated. So now into the fun stuff. Hope on Haven Hill is an organization that's dedicated to women, specifically to supporting mothers who have a substance use disorder and supporting them as they go on their journey to become nurturing, healthy parents. And we know that so many of you here have supported Hope on Haven Hill in so many different ways. Through financial donations or in-kind donations, by volunteering, by talking about our organization in the community, offering items for auction, and so many ways that I'm probably not even mentioning. And so we wanted to take the opportunity tonight to say thank you to everyone who is here and everyone who has supported Hope on Haven Hill. And we also wanted to take this opportunity to do something that we haven't been able to do before, and that is to connect you with some of the women who have been part of Hope on Haven Hill, who've received services from Hope on Haven Hill. COVID has been a strange year. And in a lot of ways, it's sort of kept us disconnected, but the benefit of Zoom is that we get to connect in this way. And we wanted to take this opportunity to reconnect with all of you supporters, celebrate the women of Hope on Haven Hill, celebrate motherhood in general, and really to say a big thank you to all of you who have been supporters. And so at this point, I am going to turn it over to Carrie Norton, who is our co-founder and currently the executive director.
Thank you, Sarah. Welcome. I want to echo my sincere appreciation to everyone who is joining us tonight. As Sarah said, we deeply appreciate all of you who have supported our mission. And over the last year, as we all had to isolate and take great measures to stay safe, many of you have asked, so how are the women who are in treatment at Hope on Haven Hill doing? Well, I can report that the women we serve are remarkable. They have faced journeys, but continue to work hard and be terrific moms and stay in recovery. So tonight, in honor of Mother's Day, and as a way to reconnect with you all, we felt it was a great time to have you meet some of these exceptional women. But first, we wanted to share with you a clip of a video that we created in 2018, of which one of our moms that are with us this evening is featured.
I was tired of using, I was tired of living that lifestyle. I was tired and sick. Where I am now, I have a full-time job, I have my car, I have my daughter back, I have what I wished for when I was in active addiction. And it never would have happened without this place, ever.
When I got to Hope, I was so grateful to be here. I knew that I had an opportunity of a lifetime to be able to work on myself, be able to have RJ. I had RJ here.
There are some hard times, there are ups and downs, but it's a good atmosphere living with women who have all had similar lives is a really good feeling.
In just a moment, I will introduce you to several of the women who have been in treatment with Hope on Haven Hill, and each will share their reflections of their journey, what it was like to have been served by Hope on Haven Hill, and their dreams for the future. So, without further ado, let me welcome Brandy, Emma, and Carissa. And I hope all of our guests tonight know that we have we don't have only the wonderful experience of being able to share some time with them, but their babies are here too, and they are in another room being cared for. But just like we all know, sometimes babies just want their mamas. And so we might have to go off script if a mama needs to take care of a baby, and that is just fine. Okay, ladies, Carissa. So hello, welcome Carissa, Brandy, and Emma. First, a big thank you for being with us tonight and being willing to share your stories and thoughts about Hope on Haven Hill and your aspirations for the future. And a great big happy Mother's Day. We've got a lot of moms, supporters, and friends of Hope on Haven Hill tuning in who are excited to learn about your time with us, to hear about your children, and to get your thoughts on the future. So let's begin. Brandy, can we start with you?
Absolutely. Hello, everyone. My name is Brandy. Thank you, Carrie. I am a mom in recovery. Have been in recovery for 3 years. I have 3 beautiful children. My oldest is 15. Her name is Emma. I have Lenora, who is 12. And then I have RJ, who I had at Hope on Haven Hill, and he will be 3 next June. So this June. Emma and Lenora, I just want to say, to this day, they say that Hope on Haven Hill is the reason that their mom was saved. I entered Hope on Haven Hill from Stratford County Correctional Facility. I had, someone had randomly told me I had a federal indictment. I had my mom call the prosecutor, and it was true. I turned myself in at the Concord federal building, and they ended up sending me to Stratford County. Not what I had expected. I told my daughters I would be home. They were 9 and 12 at the time. When I got to Stratford County, it was really hard. They would not even give me a phone call, so I couldn't even call my kids to let them know that I wouldn't be picking them up. 4 months I was there, and then I heard about Hope on Haven Hill, and I was able to luckily get in there. My lawyer said, take it. When I showed up at Hope on Haven Hill's IOP building, I was transported from the jail. I was dropped off. I literally had a sweatsuit and some flip-flops on my feet, and my family lived in Connecticut, so nobody could really bring me anything for a couple weeks. So luckily they were prepared and had some clothes and some toiletries and all that stuff, and they shipped me to the house. When I got there, I was never so grateful to have the little things that we take for granted in life, like a pillow, a bed, a refrigerator to open and get, you know, a cold drink, ice, the little things that you don't get when you're in there. When I got to Hope on Haven Hill, I was under the impression that my daughters could come and visit. And I got there actually a few weeks before Mother's Day. It was really hard for me to accept that my daughters were unable to come. And luckily, Carrie worked with me and made a plan and allowed them to come for Mother's Day weekend. It was the first time that I was able to hold my daughters and hug them in 4 months. It was the longest I had ever been away from them in their entire lives. And also, you know, if Hope on Haven Hill didn't take me, I was getting to the point where I was going to have to give RJ up. And I didn't know who I was going to trust to have my baby because I was going to be incarcerated. I forgot to tell you, I was facing a mandatory minimum of 5 years and a maximum of 40. So you can imagine what that feels like, having a 12-year-old and knowing that in 5 years, like my daughter's going to be an adult by the time I was to come home. So Hope on Haven Hill allowed me to prove myself that I could do this. When I walked through those doors, it was probably the most vulnerable I had ever been in my life. I was at my complete rock bottom, and there was not one positive thing I could say about myself. And the support that I received at Hope on Haven Hill, by the time I left there, there wasn't one negative thing I could say about myself. I really, truly loved myself again. And I hadn't loved myself in probably over 15 years because I was a functioning addict. And it took me a long time to hit my bottom. Without an organization like Hope on Haven Hill, I know I wouldn't be where I am today. I have successfully, I finished drug court. They dropped my felony charge. They gave me time served, and I was done. Like 1 year of my life, I did everything I was supposed to. I continued to do that next right thing, and things fell into place for me. I finally finished drug court, and I was able to leave the state of New Hampshire because I was mandated here for so long. And I chose to stay here and make this my home because of the support that I received here. Like, I love New Hampshire, and I love Hope on Haven Hill for everything that they have done for me. And I will always show up for this organization because they saved me.
Thank you, Brandy.
Yes.
I remember that Mother's Day very clearly, and the cards that your daughters left for staff thanking them to be able to come that weekend is forever imprinted on most of our minds.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Carissa, are you in a place that you can share a little bit about yourself and your children and how you came to Hope on Haven Hill?
Yes, I can at the moment, as my baby's crying in the background. My name's Carissa. I'm a grateful recovering addict. A little about me and my addiction. I've been in active use for over 10 years. Within that time, I lost relationships with my friends, family, many unsuccessful attempts at recovery. I've overdosed, incarcerated over 4 times, homeless, starving, and lost myself. And most of all, I wasn't a good mom. I put drugs before everything, and I lost my firstborn son, Tyler, who is now 8. He's with his paternal grandparents, and I was 18 years old, and in January I was arrested for drug charges through the federal government with my fiance, and a few weeks before that happened, I found out I was pregnant. So I immediately went to jail and for drug charges and was held there for about a month. And then I got a call saying that Hope on Haven Hill accepted me into their program, and they saved my life. Like, I knew that that opportunity was for me to get out and work my hardest to have my life and have another opportunity at being a good mother, because I didn't want to lose my son, my second son, and I wanted to rebuild that relationship with my other son that I haven't had for so long. When I got to Hope on Haven Hill, I was really nervous, and my son's birthday was that same month when I got to Hope on Haven Hill, and Hope on Haven Hill worked with me to go see him on his birthday, because I never missed a birthday ever, regardless of my addiction. So they worked with me, so I was able to see him, and they've just helped me with so much. I started to love myself again, like Brandy said, and I'm just so beyond blessed that Hope on Haven Hill gave me that opportunity to be myself and to open up to them, and have been with me every step of the way since I've left there. And like Brandy said, I'll do anything for this organization and all the women there. Like, I just want to give back, and that's all.
Thank you so much, Carissa. And I have to give you kudos because I watched you work really hard during COVID times. So a lot of people don't know, but Emma and Carissa both were with us at the very beginning of COVID, throughout COVID, having babies. And I watched you rebuild a relationship with your older son virtually into such a solid relationship. It was a beautiful thing to watch. Thank you so much for sharing.
Welcome.
Emma, are you able to share with us right now, telling us a little bit about yourself and your children and how you came to Hope on Haven Hill?
Yes, I can. So hi, everyone. My name is Emma. I've been a drug addict for a little over 10 years. I came on Haven Hill. I was incarcerated, and I was about 12 weeks pregnant at the time. I was currently rolled in drug court and in Merrimack County. In Merrimack County, they gave me the opportunity to go to Hope on Haven Hill. At first, when they told me it was a 6-month program, I was like, oh my goodness, 6 months, I have to spend my life there during a pandemic. but you know, I did it and I loved it. And I am forever grateful to Hope on Haven Hill for the tools and the guidance that they gave me. I can never repay them enough. And that's why I'm going to show up today for them and, you know, advocate, because I love this program. I'll do anything for this program, to be a part of it, anything. And so I got to Hope on Haven Hill and I had my son, Braden. He's now 7 months old. I also have a 7-year-old son named Jordan. He is currently not staying with me, but I see him every other weekend and I'm back in his life and it's going really good. And they taught me how to be a mom and, you know, a lot of those things that I didn't know how to be before, because all I knew was how to use drugs. So that's a little bit about myself. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And again, I watched you work really hard to start rebuilding relationships with your other son as well. And it was really nice. And I think that it was you that didn't quite believe that COVID-19 was really happening when we first started having it happening. But then you did become believing it after we got some newspapers and the news on for you. All right, now I would like to ask each of you to share what the first month or so was like when you first entered treatment. Emma, do you mind going first?
No, I don't. The first month of treatment for me was difficult. You know, like I said, I was addicted to drugs for a very long time. So that's all I knew how to live. But being in a home, like it was a home, it wasn't just like some like medical facility where I felt trapped or anything like that. I had my own room. It was very warming and the staff members were so kind to me and so just optimistic for me. They cared about me and that's what I really needed. And so the first month of being at Hope on Haven Hill was probably the best experience that I've ever had in my life.
Thank you. Carissa, are you in a place that you could say what the first month or so looked like for you?
I am. The first month I entered in treatment, I would say that the first 2 weeks were probably the worst and the hardest because you weren't allowed to talk to anybody for the first 2 weeks, like family or anything. So you're like, oh my God, I have no connection to the world. This is terrible. My life sucks. But literally that, like, just having supervision and like being told what to do. But that was like the keys to the program, like having a set schedule, having to have those meals every night together. That was just like, it was just warming and like, as if that's the word I'm looking for. Like, I don't know what the word that I'm trying to say, but not having control was really hard for me. Also, I was nervous because these were all new people that I had to be with and be around, and I never really had good relationships with women, so it was like really intimidating to me, and just having to like open up to them and trust women when I hadn't for so long was really hard. But I felt like the staff was really caring and helpful during those times, like at the beginning, and it was just a huge adjustment, but I definitely got through it, and just with the help and support of the other women was really great. So
thank you. I remember, wasn't there something about a granola bar?
yeah, I snuck a granola bar. I was like, oh my God, addict behavior. And I was so like embarrassed by it.
It was a good learning curve for you though.
It was. I was called out on it and I accepted it. So
getting called out on something was hard, but
yeah,
you really like took off after that.
mm-hmm.
Brandy, what was the first month or so like for you when you entered?
It was actually really amazing coming from a correctional facility, you know, so coming into a actual home was really, really amazing, and having that real food. And I came from having that routine of being up early, so that wasn't hard for me. There was always that one welcoming person in the house that made you comfortable. I can't say that all the girls were, but it was just really healthy for me to have that counseling and that case management and those groups every day to like help me kind of really process my stuff, you know?
Yes. any of you can answer if you want to just, as time kind of went on in treatment, was there any specific thing that sort of clicked to help you push forward?
Just knowing that that was my opportunity to be a good mom again, and I learned stuff about myself, and I knew that was my last time or I was going to be incarcerated. So I just gave it my all, and if you really want it, you're going to get it. So
I know for a fact that y'all three gave all your all. I watched it and it was pretty incredible. So for their next question, we all know, everybody kind of on this, not just the panel, but all of our guests know what it's like, that sometimes just getting along within a small family unit can be a struggle. I think a lot of people often wonder what it's like to be living with 8 other women, some pregnant and some with newborns. So my next question is for each of you is, what was the hardest thing about living in a house with women going through the same thing, and what was the best? And Carissa, why don't we have you go first if you're in an okay place?
I am. I would have to say the hardest thing about living with 8 other women was that I never really had great relationships with females, like I said before, and I found it very hard to open up with the group at first because I just had a lot of trust issues with women and never thought I'd be able to live in a house with all women. Like when I first found that out, I was like, this is terrible. Like I do not want to live with 8 women, plus hormones are flying. Like this is crazy. But I would definitely say I was also worried about the drama too. But I'd say the best part about living with all women was after a while of getting to know each and every one, it became easy to open up with them because we had a lot in common. And I felt like I was never judged because we've all been through so much and we could all open up. Like it was like a family. And everyone was just there for you and you knew like certain things they were going through. And I would also say it was great to have other women to watch other women interact with their children, because I learned a lot from them, because I wasn't the greatest mother the first time around and I was young. I was 18 years old, and just to watch certain people like engage with their babies and then just having the staff tell me like what to do, because I didn't know a lot of things that I learned there, and that helped me be an amazing mother today. And
well, I agree that you are an amazing mother today. How about Emma? What was one of the hardest things about living in a house with women going through the same things, and what was one of the best?
One of the hardest things I'd have to say was sharing a bathroom. That was difficult and having to be ready at a certain time, but we made it work. And one of the greatest things about living with the women is the relationships that I still have today. I spent 6 months with, a certain amount of women. I'd have to say a handful of women, and I still talk to every single one of those women. I grew a bond with them and their children. And I also grew one of the strongest relationships that I have today. Carissa is one of my best friends. We're like inseparable, and we knew each other from the past, but we were both kind of still in a bad place, and we reconnected at Hope on Haven Hill. We were just like, oh my God, like, we're so happy to see each other, like, how are you? And like, now it's just amazing. Like the sober sisters that I have today are just amazing. And I can't thank Hope on Haven Hill enough for having me connected with these women.
Well, thank you. It was really nice watching the relationships work, because just like a family unit, it's not always perfect. And Brandy, how about you? What was the hardest thing about living in a house with women going through the same things as you, and what was the best?
The hardest part for me was learning that not all of us clean the same way. That was really, really hard because I have a really high expectation.
I remember.
Yep. So I would complain quite a lot. I feel bad for the girls that lived with me because they definitely probably heard my mouth. And like Emma said, one of the greatest things is I didn't really always care for the woman that I lived with. And there was a lot of them and I had a lot of really strong feelings about. But to this day, I still do keep in contact with every single one of them. Even the girls that like I wanted to rip their hair out. I still love them very much. And I have kept that relationship open. We may not talk every day, but we do check in on each other and see how we're all doing. And that in itself, like Krista said, I was not that girl that got along with a lot of women. So living with a bunch of women it taught me a lot of patience and a lot of life skills. I can deal with, I don't react the way so quick anymore. I think before I react, and I learned that at Hope on Haven Hill. I got
Yep,
tested
you all
a lot.
learned lots of really great skills for your toolbox. I know that for sure. And I clearly remember, and I think Sue Daigle was remembering as well, your obsession with how things needed to be cleaned for chores.
Yes.
I think that's done well by you though.
Thank you.
For our next question, I'm going to ask you all, and we'll have Brandy go first, I think. What are your dreams for the future? And where do you see yourself 2 years from now?
So right now I'm working on my credit to build that up so that hopefully in a year or two I can purchase a home for my family. Right now I am comfortable. I have a house I rent. It's 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. So like I'm comfortable, but down the line I do want that. And then I kind of have to think I'm going to have a daughter that's going to be going away to college. I want to further my education. Probably not going to be able to do that until RJ's like in school full time, not just daycare, because I'm working during those hours. But just to go on like family vacations to make memories with my kids since I missed out on, that little bit of time with them.
Are you working now, Brandy?
I am working. I actually work at the homeless shelter. Abby's place was not open yet when I graduated. I was waiting patiently. And then finally, New Generation called me. They had a spot available. I moved there. I lived there for 5 months. I started working at their thrift store. And then I finally was able to move out. I used to joke with them, like, when are you going to hire me for the house? And they are like, you can't be a resident. So I moved out. I started working nights there. And then I came on to days. I have been working towards my CRSW, and I love the case manager position came open at New Generation. So now I am the case manager of 8 to 10 women, and I really enjoy it. So I'm kind of like giving back. And the girls really, we really have a good relationship because I have been there. So when they're really frustrated, they're like, I can't do this. I'm like, yes, you can.
Yeah, that is what it's all about.
Yes.
And I think newer graduates, maybe even Emma and Carissa, probably are listening to that type of advice because they've started volunteering with us, and so I think that that's being taken very seriously. I'm going to ask Carissa if she's available, what her dreams are for the future, and where do you see yourself 2 years from now?
My dreams for the future would to be have my whole family like together because my fiance is currently not around right now. So to have him with my son and just have our own place. I also want to start going to school and eventually work towards something. I want to give back to the recovery community and possibly get a job doing that. And I just want to own my own home, start slowly, gradually getting time back with my other son. Like I get him every weekend, but I want to gradually get him back home with me and his brother. So
nice, thank you. And Emma, what are your dreams for the future, and where do you see yourself 2 years from now?
So right now I'm going to school to get my high set. So I'm studying for that, and I really want to go to Empire Beauty School to get my cosmetology license and also barbering license so I can do both women's and men's hair. Right now I'm volunteering my time, going to be volunteering my time to Hope on Haven Hill in Abby's Place to give back to my recovery community. And I really just want to own my own home. So like I just got my 2-bedroom apartment, and I plan on going back to court to get my 7-year-old back, and just living that happy, healthy, normal life, and just live normally and sober and just be happy.
That is wonderful. And, you know, you are doing that. And it's so exciting to see. You know, Emma just transitioned from Abby's into her new apartment. And it's so exciting to be able to have, you know, our graduates transition and to start volunteer with us. I want to express a great big thank you to our 3 guest speakers, Brandy, Emma, and Carissa. Your candidness was deeply appreciated, and I think we all feel more inspired. And now, speaking of dreams for the future, I want to invite a very special guest speaker who has volunteered at Hope on Haven Hill, cuddling babies while moms are in the program, and who has now joined our board, Susan Daigle. Sue is going to take a few minutes to share her journey with Hope on Haven Hill and give you, our long-term supporters, a special peek at our dream for the future. Please welcome Sue Daigle.
Thank you, Carrie. Thank you. So, as Carrie said, volunteer baby cuddler. That was my introduction to Hope on Haven Hill. And let me tell you, I was the envy of many of my friends. I volunteered for 3 years until COVID hit. And luckily, I was asked to join the board and very honored to do it last summer. So initially, I was all about the babies when I was volunteering. But over time, I developed some really wonderful relationships with many of the mothers, some of who were hesitant at first, having been isolated by the stigma of their disease, as many of the girls had said. I have such admiration for many of these mothers. They are courageous and strong and resilient. And as you heard, they were willing to do anything to keep their little families intact and safe and thriving, all while working on their sobriety, which in itself is a difficult task. Their dreams were many of the same dreams that my daughters have: to be healthy, to find jobs, to live independently, and having a group of supporting friends, and just living a happy life, as Emma just said. Hope in Haven Hill and Abby's Place do an amazing job giving women the tools to accomplish these goals. Hope on Haven Hill serves more than 45 women in their residential program, 60 to 75 in their outpatient program, and 18 to 24 women and children live in Abby's Place. And yet our waiting list continues to grow, and there are more women needing our services. We have hopes and dreams to meet the need in a new and exciting building. This building will become the Center for Hope and Wellness and will become the heart of our organization. Our plans will include offering a place where families can take part in recovery services and create support networks of other sober living families. We know you will be as excited as we are as you see our plans unfold. So stay tuned for more exciting news to come from us this summer. Thank you for your continued support and your best wishes for our mothers. And happy Mother's Day to you and yours. Thank you all so very much. Carrie? Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much. Thank you, wonderful speakers and all of the participants tonight. I'd like to ask, if possible, if our viewers could go to the top right corner and look for the gallery view and change it to gallery view so we can see everybody while I announce the winner of the Mother's Day floral basket tonight. We can all take some sip of tea as well. All right. All right. So tonight's winner of the Mother's Day floral basket is, drum rolls, Mary Carey Foley. So congratulations, Mary Carey Foley. And I want to again just thank everybody for coming and spending their precious time and tonight, especially our incredible graduates. You know, it's been a crazy year and everybody has a little bit of virtual Zoom fatigue. So we appreciate you all so very much. These strong women are, you know, are doing such a tremendous job. And we really have to thank all of you for helping support recovery. I want to thank you all. I want to thank the board and staff and just everybody that's been there to help out. Thank you. And I hope you all have a healthy and safe week and a wonderful Mother's Day to all.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
Happy Mother's Day, ladies.
Bye.
Bye.
Good job. That was terrific.